Today's video blog is about social networking. Now, it's a topic that's been very much on my mind. In fact, recently I blogged about it in the context of cloud. That of all the cloud applications companies are purchasing, when they buy these applications, they tend to underexploit them, and one of the features they tend to underexploit in the cloud is social networking. However, that being said, there are some do's and don'ts of social networking that organizations also need to be cognizant of when they choose to implement it. And these do's and don'ts are aligned along certain guidelines of how the corporation expects its employees to behave on social networks. And in some cases, it even involves companies needing to address the generational divide and different concepts that people within the organizations have on social networking. A case in point came up last week. It was at a company with a supply chain, and one of the employees used the social networking feature on the cloud and proceeded to broadcast to the entire supplier base that a particular individual had decided to retire. Now, there were some repercussions that came because of this. Obviously, the suppliers were concerned because this particular individual had been a critical cog in the supply chain machinery, and trust had been built up through the years, and of course, the individual was a known quantity to the suppliers. But just as critical, it was not really a retirement, but rather a reassignment of the individual to somewhere else within the organization. Clearly, human resources and public relations should have been involved in this before any communication was made. So what's the bottom line on this story? Well, very simply, that when you implement and begin to use social networking, particularly within the cloud or really anywhere, there should be policies in place as to how it should be used on behalf of the company and who is authorized to use it. This is not an area that end-user departments or IT particularly excels at. And that's why it's important to have PR, perhaps marketing, and certainly HR on the team, because you never can be too careful about who you involve in the collaborative process to ensure that your social networking effort gets launched right.